So we'll start with the question. Question number 1. At noon, sun appears white as. Do you guys know what is the answer? Why is sun appearing white in the noon? What is this related to? Do you know that? What is this related to? You can unmute and speak. What is this related to? Is it related to dispersion of light, refraction of light, reflection of light, scattering of light? Do you know what is it related to? Yes, exactly. Scattering of light. Yes. So what actually happens? I'll just give you a brief idea what is happening. So we know this is the surface of Earth, and the since Earth is the one which is rotating and it's not the sun that is rotating, Earth is the one that is rotating. So when Earth rotates, the sun will be at different positions at different times during the day. So when during morning and in the evening, sun will be at the extreme horizons, and at noon sun will be just above our head. Okay, like it's just above us. So when we look at this thing, when it is just above us, this distance is very less. Okay, that means we have what here? We have atmosphere here. So the distance from us to the sun is the least during noontime. So when light of different colors from the sun, like from the sun there will be blue color, from the sun there will be yellow color, and from the sun there will be red color. All the vibgyor colors will come from the sun. That is the white light. Okay, so when it is coming from the sun to us, what happens is when it reaches the when it reaches the atmosphere, it gets scattered off. So since we are very near to the sun and the distance from us to sun is very least, what happens? The atmosphere is minimum. So the atmosphere is minimum, that the light will pass through minimum atmosphere. That scattering is very less. Okay, that scattering is very less. So when does the scattering happen? Scattering happens when the sun light rays interact with the atmosphere. So since the atmosphere is, we are very close to sun, and the space of atmosphere is less, what happens? Light is least scattered. So what happens? We see the sun as white. We see the sun as white during noontime. Is it clear? Okay. So what is the answer? So I think that's clear to you. 1 minute, guys. So second question. Which of the following phenomenon of light are involved in the formation of rainbow? This might not be a question that is asking for you, like it's does not seem to be in the syllabus, included in the syllabus. Still, if they ask it, you will have to answer it. So I just included this question. Okay, so which of the following phenomena light are involved in the formation of rainbow? So this is the figure that you can see, okay, that you can already see in the textbook. So what is happening? Sunlight is coming to a raindrop, and what is the process happening here? What is this process happening here? What is happening here? It is the refraction. It is the refraction. And what is happening here at this point? What is happening there? That is the internal reflection. Okay. So internal reflection. So when sun is the sunlight is being refracted, what happens is it splits into the vibgyor colors. Okay, it splits into the rainbow colors here. I mean vibgyor colors like violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow light, which is called the dispersion. So the process is involved in the formation of rainbow are refraction, dispersion, and internal reflection. So when light refracts, it actually gets dispersed. That means when it travels from air to the water molecule, there is a refraction happening as well as dispersion is happening, and the total internal reflection is happening. Okay, I think this is clear to you. This is the answer for the second question. Coming to the next question. The clear sky appears blue because. The clear sky appears blue because. What is the reason? Why is this clear sky appearing blue? It's also related to this figure. Okay. So what is happening is, what is this question actually? The sun appears white. What is the next question? Next question is, the clear sky is appearing blue. It is about the color of the sky. Hey, please don't do that. Please don't do that. Okay. The clear sky is appearing blue. What is it? What does that mean? Why is it happening? This is because when do we see something blue? When we see something blue, when the blue light gets scattered. When do we see something red? When the red light is being scattered. Okay, so when we look at the sky, if it is blue color, that means blue colors are being scattered and we see the sky blue. Okay, so what will be the answer? Is it because blue light get absorbed, or is it because ultraviolet radiations are absorbed in the atmosphere, or violet and blue lights get scattered more than lights of all other colors by the atmosphere, or the light of all colors is scattered more than the violet and blue colors lights by the atmosphere? Which is the answer? Can you just tell what is the answer? Anybody? C. Exactly, C is the answer. Okay, violet and blue lights get scattered more. That is the reason why this is being scattered. I mean, we see the sky as blue in color. Moving to the next question. Which of the following statement is correct regarding the propagation of light of different colors of white light in air? Tell me, which statement is correct? It is about the speed of light. Here, it's telling about the speed of light. Red light moves fastest. Blue light moves faster than green light. All the colors of white light move with the same speed. Yellow light moves with the mean speed as that of red and violet light. What do you think? Does the color and is there a dependence between color and the speed of light? Any of you think? Send your answers in the chat. I want to know about it. How many of you can answer this? Which is the answer for this question? Red light moves fastest. Okay. A. People are telling A is the answer. C is the answer. A is the answer. C. Okay, fine. Actually, C is the answer. This is very confusing question. I like many of the students get confused with this question. See, in a medium, whether it is like in air, the question is about air, right? Air. Okay. In air, what happens is everything moves with the same speed. Okay. All the colors of white light moves with the same speed. This is the answer. So C is the correct answer. In air and vacuum, every light moves with the same speed. Fifth question. The danger signal installed at the top of tall buildings are red in color. This can be easily seen from a distance because among all the colors, the red light. Please share your answers in the chat. Fast. Okay. Okay. People are telling, I got many answers. B. Okay, let's see what is the B option. B is scattered the least by smoke or fog. That means red is scattered. Red color is scattered least by the smoke or fog. That is the correct answer, because we should see the signal, whether there is fog or smoke or whatever be there between us and the signal, we should see it. So when it is in red in color, what happens is red light is least scattered. So if there is smoke or fog or anything, we can see the signal. Okay, so that's why it's made it in red color. Okay, which of the following phenomena contributes significantly to the reddish appearance of the sun at sunrise or sunset? Can you tell? It is which of the following phenomenon? So I gave you a clue in the last question, like why is the sky blue? With that logic, you can answer this. Yes, exactly. B is the answer. It's a scattering of light. So reddish appearance of the sun at the sunrise and sunset and everything, these all are related to the scattering of light. Very good. The bluish color of water in deep sea is due to, can you just guess the answer? Okay, Fatima answered. Bluish color of water in the deep sea. See, this is all related with the color. So I said, if you see some color, it's because that color is being scattered. Okay, so C is the answer here. That is the scattering of light. Okay, it's because of the scattering of light. Very good. Okay, in the following diagram, the path of a ray of light passing through a glass prism is shown. Okay, Please look at the figure. In this diagram, the angle of incidence, the angle of emergence, angle of incidence, angle of emergence, and the angle of deviation respectively are. So we need to find what all things? Angle of incidence. Okay. So looking at this figure, you guys tell which is the angle of incidence. Which is the angle of incidence? Okay. Let's look at that. So we know this is the light ray coming. The blue one is the light ray coming. And this is the normal. Which is the normal? The red one is the normal. So what is angle of incidence? Angle of incidence is the angle between incident ray and the normal. So which is the angle of incidence? That is Y, right? Yes. So Y, this or this, either these two options are correct. Okay. Then you just go through what is the option. You see, this is YQT and this is YQP. So the change is in T and P. So we'll look for the third one. Okay. Angle of deviation. What is angle of deviation? Angle of deviation means, see, actually, if there was this prism was not there. If this prism was not there, imagine it that way. If that prism was not there, how would the light pass through? How would this incident light pass through? It will just go like this, right? It will just go like this. Okay. Okay. And in the presence of prism, how is the light moving? What is the direction of light? In the presence of this prism, how is the direction of light? This incident light is like this now, after passing through the prism. So angle of deviation is the angle, this angle, like that is the angle between without the presence of prism and after the presence of prism. What is the deviation of light? What is the deviation of light? Okay. So this angle, that is this angle P. So many of you answered this one, and the correct answer is P. Okay. Good. One moment. Fine. Okay. Going to the next question. After tracing the path of a ray light through a glass prism, a student marked the angle of incidence, angle of refraction. What all these things the student marked? Student marked angle of incidence, angle of refraction, and an angle of emergence, and the angle of deviation. Okay. As shown in the diagram, the correctly marked angles are, okay, angle of incidence is marked I. Is that correct? Is angle of incidence correct here? Yes, exactly. This is the normal and this is correct. And what about angle of deviation? What about angle of deviation? Which is the angle of deviation actually? Actually, angle of deviation is this. I explained it to you right now. What is angle of deviation? This is marked R here, but R is the angle of refraction here. So this is wrong. This thing is wrong, marked wrong here. And angle of emergence. What is angle of emergence? Yeah, angle of emergence is the ray coming out of the prism and the normal, this angle. Yeah, that is correct. This is E, that is correct. And what about angle of deviation? Sorry, angle of refraction. Angle of refraction. Angle of refraction is actually the angle between the normal and the refracted ray, that is this angle, but this is marked as D here. So this is wrong. Understand? So this is wrong. So what all things are marked correct here? That is angle of incidence and angle of emergence, right? Correct? Angle of incidence and angle of emergence is marked correct here. Okay. So your options will be angle of incidence and angle of emergence, that is B. Okay, B is your correct option. B is your correct option. Okay, the splitting of white light into its component colors is called. Yeah, you guys just tell, hey, Lemia, please don't draw. Okay, so the splitting of white light into its component colors is called. I need your answers. Yes, people are answering C. Very good. You're preparing very well for the examinations. Okay, good. Now, behind reason behind advanced sunrise and delayed sunset. What does this mean? What is advanced sunrise and delayed sunset? Actually, sun sets at 6:30 p.m. and you can see the sunset till 6:32 p.m. Understand? See, you are in a beach and you are seeing the sunset. 6:32 p.m. you are watching the sunset, but actually sun already crossed the horizon before that. Okay, this is called advanced sunrise and delayed sunset. This happened with the sunrise also. You see the sun before it actually is above the horizon. Okay, this is happening because of the atmospheric refraction. This is actually not in your syllabus, but I just included in case suppose something happens, like if there is a question, this is a relevant question, so I just included. Okay, this is because of atmospheric refraction. Okay, fine. While performing the experiment to trace the path of a ray of light passing through the glass prism, 4 students mark the incident ray and the emergent ray in the diagram in the manner shown below. You give me your correct answer. A 1, 2, 3, or 4. That is ABCD. Okay. I'm getting different answers. Please answer the 12th question. Okay. Okay. People are answering A. People are answering C. Okay. Many of you will be sure that it's not B and D. It's not B and D, you will be sure, but you will be confused about A and C. This is a very important thing that you should actually be careful about. See, these are the questions that questions that can reduce your marks in MCQ exams. Like they give tricky answers that you get confused. So be very careful about it. Read it 1, 2 times and only answer it. Okay, you should read it 2 times and then only you should answer, because this is some serious problem. Okay, so see this. If the prism is like this, this is what you already studied, right? This is the figure that you already know. If the incident light will be like this, it goes like this and it comes like this. Okay, so in this C figure, what they did is they just inverted the situation. And so the incident light is like this, it goes like this, and then it emerges like this. So which is the correct answer? The correct answer is C. You should just invert it and just see this. Okay, and you understand one more thing. Incident light can either be from here, or you can say incidence is from here also. This is also fine. Okay, to tell it this way, if the incidence is like this, it will go like this and then it will be coming like this. Okay, this is how it happens. So C figure is exactly something of this sort, and C is the correct answer here. Okay, fine. We'll move to the next question. Okay. The colored light that deflects most while passing through a prism is? Tell me. If there is a prism, which color, like what comes in here is the white light. Okay, I'll mark it with black color. I will mark this is suppose a white light, and it is dispersed, and the colors will be like violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red, right? This is how it is, right? Isn't it? So which is getting deviated more? Violet or red or blue or yellow?
Violet.
Yes, it's violet. Okay, it's violet. So violet is the one which is here. That means it's getting deviated more. Okay, so understand it like this. When a white light enters a prism, violet is the one which is color which is seen the below. Okay, so it is getting deviated more. What about the next question? Sunlight is a mixture of dash visible colors. Yes, all of you know the answer. It's 7 visible colors. That is violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. Brilliant. Now we'll move to the next question. Dash was the first to use a glass prism to obtain the spectrum of sunlight. Those who are reading the textbook, they will answer this. I want to know how many of you can correctly answer this. Okay, very good. All of you are preparing very well, I know. Very good. Newton was the first one. The deflection of light by minute particles and the molecules of atmosphere in all directions is called the deflection of light by minute particles and molecules in all directions is called what? Is it dispersion, scattering, interference, Tyndall effect? This is a bit confusing. Okay. How many of you can answer this correct? Let me know this. Am I audible? Is there any issue?
No.
Okay. What is the answer? People are telling D is the answer. But it's a confusing question. Like the confusion is between the option B and D. Okay. So if the question is like the deflection of light by minute particles and molecules, like minute, okay, then it is scattering. Okay, what is Tyndall effect? I have given a question like it's because of the colloidal particles. It is the deflection of light by the colloidal particles. Okay, that is the Tyndall effect. So deflection of light by minute particles, that is scattering. B is the option, scattering. Okay. Now 17th question. When white light enters prism, it gets split into constituent colors. This is due to, yes, this is an important like high theory, high funda question. Okay, you guys just answer. You guys just answer this. Let me know how many of you are reading the textbook. Okay. Okay, very good, very good. The answer is A is the correct answer. So what happens is, we know there is a prism. Okay, so we know this is the white light coming, but it is getting deviated differently. Like white light, the white light is the one that is getting incidented on, that is incidenting on this prism, but it is getting split into different colors. This is a wonder, right? Why is this happening? This is happening because like it's coming from Vibgyor colors. This is happening because inside the prism, the refractive index, there is something called refractive index, which you already learned, like that is N, refractive index. Refractive index for different wavelengths. That means wavelength means different colors. Okay, wavelengths means different colors. Like red is having a wavelength, while like 400 nanometer. This is the wavelength of violet, and 700 nanometer. That is the wavelength of red. Okay, so the refractive index for different wavelengths will be different. Okay, so violet will be having an N, the refractive index, N violet, and red will be having another refractive index, that is NR. Like these are different values. So once the refractive index changes, what happens? This deviation happens. Okay, so this is the answer. You need not to go deep into this because you learn this in high class, higher secondary and all. So you just understand this is the reason. Refractive index for different wavelengths of each colors. Okay, this is because of this reason this dispersion is happening. Okay, fine. What will be the colors of X, Y, and Z? Yeah, now you should answer this. I was telling about this for the past 3 questions. I was telling this answer. Yes, fast. I need the answer. Yes, very good. Z is red and X is violet. Yes, X is violet. Then Y will be green and Z will be red, and the answer is B. Okay, good. Which option justifies that the sun appears red at sunrise and sunset? Which option justifies that sun appears red at sunrise and sunset? What is actually happening there?
Option D.
Option D.
D.
The white light disperses into 7 colors, only red enters atmosphere. No.
C.
C. Yes. C is the answer. Actually, C is the answer. I'll tell you if you are interested. I will tell you its reason. Like I need to go to the figure which we were discussing. Okay. So I'll tell you. So what's happening is this. We know this is Earth and okay, I'll draw another figure. And this is during sunset. Okay, or during sunset, this is at either of the horizons. Okay, the sun is here. So from the sun, what light comes? White light comes. Okay, but we see it red. This is because from the sun, all the colors come like red, while blue will be there. Also red will be there. Since violet light gets scattered more, or since its frequency is very less, that's because of some other reasons. This violet or the blue color scatter fast. Okay, so what happens is when these lights come in, violet or the blue will be scattered and scatters off. It scatters off. But what happens to the red light? It will, red light. The red light will reach to us. Suppose we are looking it from here, like this is our eye. We are looking it from here. The red light will travel more distance without scattering. Okay, red light can travel longer distance without scattering. The problem with blue light is that it scatters off so fast. So when it is a longer distance, so during the sunset, the light is supposed to travel a longer distance because the sun is in the horizon. That's also happening in the morning. Okay, since it's in the horizon, the light from the sun will have to travel a longer distance to reach our eyes. So what survives is the red light. So we see red light. Okay. Hey, please rub it. Who did that? Please rub it. Okay, fine. So this is the reason. Okay, this is the reason. Now we'll move to the next question. So what is the answer for this question? Let's see what is the answer for this question. Which was the question? Which option justifies the sun appears red at sunrise and sunset? That is a C. Red has high wavelength, so it travels longer distance. Okay. The phenomenon of scattering of light by colloidal particle give rise to what? Tyndall effect. Okay, colloidal particles. That's Tyndall effect. Good. Which statement is true for the reflection of light? So now we are done with the chapter human eye and the colorful world. Now we are going to the reflection, refraction by spherical mirrors and lenses. Okay, mirrors and lenses. Okay, which statement is true for the reflection of light? You guys can answer now. Angle of incidence and angle of reflection are equal. That is a correct statement. The reflected light is less bright than the incident light. That is a wrong statement. The sum of angle of incidence and the reflection is always greater than 90. Need not be. The beams of incident light after reflection diverge at unequal angle. That's also not correct. So there are two statements regarding the reflection of light. One is the angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. And what is the second statement? Angle of incidence, ray of incidence, the normal, and the ray of reflection, reflected ray. Incident ray, normal, and the reflected ray, everything lie on the same plane. These are two laws of focal length of a plane mirror is. Tell me your answers. Give me your answers in the chat. Okay. Good. B. Exactly. That is infinite. Focal length of a plane mirror is infinite. Okay. Good. Actually, what is the focal length? So, okay, one moment. I can tell you something from this figure. Okay, the image shows the path of incident rays to a concave mirror. Where would the reflected rays meet for the image formation to take place? Okay, this is a concave mirror. Okay, if you see the shape, you can understand this is a concave mirror. You guys tell me what is the answer to this question? Where would the reflected rays meet for the image formation to take place? I'm getting, if the object is placed beyond C, the image will be formed between C and F. Exactly. That's the correct answer. So, if you want, we can just look at this figures. This is an important figure in your textbook. Okay, you should look at this very thorough because you can expect a few questions from here. Okay, rather than looking at the table attached, rather than studying this table by heart, what you should actually look at these figures. Okay, so we'll just look in detail this figure. If the object is placed at infinity, what happens? The image will be formed at the focus. These are all in the case of concave mirror. Okay, concave mirror is the reflecting part is here. Okay, reflecting part is here. This is the reflecting part. Okay, so you should learn these figures properly. And this is the C. C is at, what is the relation between C and F? C is 2 times F. Okay, C is 2 times F, 2 times the focal length, that is C. Okay, so that is center of curvature. Do you guys know what is actually the center of curvature? See, this mirror is cut from a sphere. This mirror is actually cut from a sphere, something of spherical shape. Okay, so if it is a concave mirror, what we do is we'll polish this inner side. This inner side will be polished. Okay, and this side will be is not polished and the inner side is polished. Okay, this is the polishing side. We'll polish this inner surface. Okay, inner surface, like we'll polish this surface. Okay, this is the mirror. So since this mirror is of spherical shape, what happens? This sphere must be having a radius, right? This will be having a radius. And this distance is called C, center of curvature. Okay. See, if you see this mirror, this is cut out of a bigger spherical mirror. And the C is its center, the radius or the center of the sphere. Understand? So what is actually C? That is the center of curvature. That means the center of the sphere from which this mirror is cut. Okay. So this F will always be half of C. Okay. F will always be half of C. Okay. And you should learn this figure very well. Like when it is placed beyond C, the image is formed between C and F. When it is placed at C, this is important. At C, you get an inverted image here. And when you're placing it between C and F, when your object is placed between C and F, your image is formed beyond C and so on. Okay, this is how it is. So you should look at this figure very clearly. Okay, so now we will move to the question. Now we'll move to the question. What was the question? The image shows the path of incident ray to the concave mirror. Okay, upper C, it is placed beyond C, so this should be between C and F. Okay, so between C and F is the correct answer. Okay, good. Now the 24th question: the beam of light incident on a plane mirror forms a real image on reflection. The incident beam is a beam of light incident on a plane mirror. Okay, a beam of light incident on a plane mirror. I'll explain you this. Plane mirror. What is a plane mirror? Plane mirror is something which is not having a curvature. It's a plane mirror. Its focal length is infinity. Okay, so this plane mirror, what happens? Forms a real image on reflection. What is a real image? Real image, if you can somehow converge the points Okay, so actually if these are incident rays and these are the reflected rays, and if you can really in real, if you keep a screen here, if you keep a screen here, what happens? On the screen, the real light comes and meet, right? On the screen, the real light comes and meet. That is called the real image. Like the light meets in real and you get an image there. Okay, that is the real image. Virtual image, I'll tell you what is virtual image later on. So here the question is, there is a plane mirror and it forms a real image on reflection. Okay, so suppose if it is the incident light, how will be the reflected light from a plane mirror? Can you guess? It will be like this. It will just reflect and come back, right? So if this is the incident light, what happens? The reflected light will be like this. So this won't meet somewhere and this won't form an image. Okay, light should meet to form an image. So this won't be meeting to form a real image. So how should be the incident light? നമ്മുടെ മിററിന്റെ അടുത്തേക്ക് വരുന്ന ലൈറ്റ് എങ്ങനെയുള്ളതായിരിക്കണം so that it forms a real image, like the reflected rays actually meet. അപ്പൊ നിങ്ങൾ പറ എങ്ങനെയുള്ളതായിരിക്കണം മക്കളെ? Can you guess? I need your answer. Okay, I'm getting answers. Convergent എന്ന് പറയുന്നവരുണ്ട്. Some people are telling it's convergence. Some people are saying the answer is C. Okay, let's see. Let's see. If it is the convergent light, that means convergent light will be something like this. This is a convergent light, right? This is a convergent light. Convergent light. So if it is incidenting like this, according to the laws of reflection, it should actually reflect like this. So these lights can actually meet, right? And here we get the real image. What about a diverging light? Let's see. What about a diverging light? If it was a diverging light, it should be of something of this sort, right? So the reflected light will be something of this sort that will be diverging. That is also diverging. See, it will be going off. They won't meet and it cannot form a real image. So the light should be converged for a plane mirror to form a real image on reflection. Okay, if it is parallel, that won't happen. If it is divergent, it won't happen. Not certain, that's not the option. We are certain about that. It is a convergent light. The clear alla? Is it clear? Just give me your answers in the chat. Is it clear what I told? Okay, fine. Thank you. Okay, now we'll move to the next question. What is the time now? It's 42. Okay, we'll have to rush. Okay, an object is placed at a distance 40 centimeter in front of a concave mirror of focal length 20 centimeter. The image produced is, it's a concave mirror, 40 centimeter, and its focal length is 20 centimeter. So you can just imagine what is the situation. Its focal length is how much? 20 centimeter, and it's placed here at the C, right? That is 40 centimeter. 40 centimeter, that is the double of F, and it is at C. Okay, what will be the real inverted of the opposite size as that of the object? Real inverted of the same size as that of the object. What is the answer? It's D or C. Real inverted and same size, right? Yeah, it's of the same size. Yes, real inverted and the same size. Okay, it's of the same size. Okay, fine. So you can see the situation here. This is the situation. Okay, this C, this is the situation. This situation pole aayirikkum adinte answer undava. Okay, C situation. Okay, now image formed by a convex spherical mirror is. So this is the situation. When it is a convex spherical mirror, we have only two things, like when the object is placed at infinity or when the object is placed between infinity and the pole. These are the only two situations here. Like we don't have different situations like a concave mirror. So when it is placed at infinity, you get a virtual image. See, here the rays are actually deviated. Like they won't meet in real, but you extrapolate them so that you think they somehow meet here. You get a feeling that they meet here, like you see it inside the mirror, like they are actually meeting there. So this is called virtual image. Okay, this is called virtual image. So here also this is a virtual image which is being produced because the reflected rays are not actually meeting. Okay, so at infinity we get a image at the focus which is virtual and direct, which will be highly diminished, like it will be just point size. And between infinity and pole of the mirror, what happens? You get a diminished image itself, that also will be virtual and direct. So the answer to this question is convex spherical mirror is always virtual. Okay, it's always virtual. It's always virtual. Convex is always virtual. And additionally, you have a single case of concave mirror where you get a virtual image. That is when your object is placed between focus and the pole. Okay, that's only when the object is placed between the focus and the pole. What you get an enlarged image here. Okay, you get an enlarged image here when you keep the object near the mirror, like between focus and the pole. Okay, so we'll move to the next question. A 10 millimeter long all pin is placed vertically in front of a concave mirror. A 5 millimeter long image of all pin is formed at 30 centimeter in front of the mirror. The focal length of this mirror is. You can expect this kind of questions, like this involve mathematics. You should try solving this. Okay, you should try solving this. Otherwise, if you skip these things, you will lose marks. Okay, so what is the given? What are the data given? A 10 millimeter long all pin. Okay, so height of the object is 10 millimeter. In front of a concave mirror, 5 millimeter long image is produced. That means H dash, that is the height of the image, that is 5 millimeter. At 30 centimeter in front of the mirror. That is the image distance. That is V is 30 centimeter in front of the mirror, right? 30 centimeter in front of the mirror. So how do you calculate the distance in front of the mirror? That is calculated as negative, right? And this distance is calculated as positive. So this should be minus 30 centimeter. The focal length of this mirror is, okay. So we have H dash and V. We know magnification of a mirror is given by minus V by U, that is given by H dash by H. Okay. So we have H dash by H, that is 5 by 10, which is equal to minus 30, minus of minus 30 by U. So what will be U? U will be nothing but 30 into 10 by 5. How much is that? 300 by 5. So U is 60 centimeter. U is 60 centimeter. What do you get when you add this? Minus 3 by 60, or that is minus 20 centimeter. 1 by minus 20 centimeter. Okay. Or F is nothing but minus 20 centimeter. This is the focal length. So your answer is B. Okay. Hope you understood this. I will be sharing the solutions with you. Okay. Now moving to the next question. Yeah, you have this theory in the textbook. Please go through this part of the textbook. Okay. Magnification, relation between magnification, V by U and everything. Okay. A student conducts an activity using a concave mirror with focal length 10 centimeter. He placed an object 15 centimeter from the mirror. What is the image likely to form? A student conducts an activity using a concave mirror, focal length 10 centimeter. Okay, focal length 10 centimeter. He placed the object 15 centimeter. So that is between where and where? Between F and C, right?
Yes.
So where should be the image? Should be beyond C, right? It should be beyond C, right? There is a mirror and this is F. F is how much? 10.
Between F and C,
Yes.
it is beyond C.
Yes, exactly. 15 centimeter. We kept the object here. So the image should be somewhere over here, right? This is C, this is F. It should be beyond C. So it should be somewhere over here and it should be inverted, right? So Is it behind the mirror or in front of the mirror?
In front of the mirror.
Exactly. So D is the answer. You need not to do the calculations to do this. You can just see, just use your logic and answer such type of questions. Okay. Seeing the numbers doesn't mean you need to solve it and do it. The image of an object placed in front of a convex mirror is formed at the object itself, twice the distance of the object in front of the mirror, half the distance of the object in front of the mirror, behind the mirror.
Behind the mirror.
It's behind the mirror. It's here, right? So it's behind the mirror.
Right.
Okay, it's behind the mirror. Okay, good. A full length of image of a distant tall building can definitely be seen using. We have a tall building and we want to see it through a mirror. Is it possible to see it through a concave mirror, a convex mirror, a plane mirror, or both concave as well as plane mirror?
Convex.
Exactly, it's convex. Why?
It will shorter.
Yeah, it
Im-
has a larger field of view. Like it can get light from all these directions. Okay, if it is a very tall building, this light can somehow incident on this concave mirror, convex mirror. But what if it is a concave mirror? See, if it is a very tall building, this portion of the light, it won't be possible to reach inside this. So it's about the view. Okay, larger area of view of the convex mirror. Okay, convex mirror. That's why we are using convex mirrors in vehicles and everything. Okay, a student conducts an activity using a flask of height 15 centimeter and concave mirror. He finds that the image formed is 45 centimeter in height. What is the magnification of the image?
HI by HO.
Yes, magnification is H dash by H or HI by HO. That is image by object. Okay, fine. So what is the height of image? 45. It's tall 45. Image is 45 in height, but it will be inverted, we know, because it's a concave mirror. So it should be written as minus 45 by 15. So this will be minus 3. Okay, minus 3. Minus 3 times. Okay, it's minus 3 times. Clear? Clear, alle?
Yes.
Okay. Now we'll go to the next. Which mirror is used in rear view mirror in vehicles? Okay, this I won't tell. You guys have to answer.
Convex.
Yes, convex. Very good. It's convex. I told you why. It's because of the larger area of view. We should see everything what's happening around when we are traveling in a vehicle. So it's because of that. Which mirror is used by a dentist?
Concave.
Concave. Why is it so?
Larger image of the teeth.
Yes, you get a larger image. I'll show you which is the situation. In the case of a concave mirror, this case, right? The F case. See this F case. When you are placing the object close to the pole or between F and pole, you get an enlarged image. That is the point. You get an enlarged image. So for a dentist, it's necessary that he should be able to see the minute things. Okay, so for a dentist, he places his mirror close to the mouth so that he get an enlarged image. So what he is using is concave. Okay, concave. Which mirror is used in torchlight? You all might have seen a torchlight and you should guess it. Come on.
Concave.
Concave.
Yes, exactly. That is concave because it should not. What is the purpose of a torch? It should give us light, but is it a scattered light or a pointed kind of light?
Pointed.
Yes, to make it pointed, it should be a concave mirror. Okay, if it is convex, what happens is it is diverging. It's a diverging mirror and it's not a converging mirror. So that's the reason. Which mirror is used in shaving mirrors?
Concave.
Concave.
It's concave, same as dentist. It is the same case as dentist. No matter how far you stay from a mirror, your image appears erect. Which mirror it is?
Concave. Convex.
Concave.
It's not concave. In the case of
Convex.
concave, it is
Concave.
always inverted. It's convex. Okay, wherever you stand, your image will always be erect and virtual. What is the magnification of plane mirror? plus 1. Okay, see, we are standing in front of a plane mirror. നമ്മൾ നിൽക്കുന്ന പോലെ തന്നെയാണ് ഇമേജ് ഉണ്ടാവുക, റൈറ്റ്? What is the magnification means? Magnification h dash by h. H dash by h. That is image height by object height. When we are standing in front of a plane mirror, we get an image of same as our size, which is not inverted. If it was inverted, it would have been -1. Okay. What is the image formed in the case of a concave mirror? If the object is at C. Exactly. Concave mirror, in the case, this is an important question. In the case of a concave mirror, if the object is placed at C, you get an inverted image at C itself. Okay. What is the image formed in the case of a convex mirror if the object is placed at focus?
At infinity.
Yes. Whenever you place an object at focus, you get image at infinity. Whenever you place object at infinity, you get the image at the focus. Okay. What is the image formed in the case of a concave mirror if the object is placed at infinity?
At F.
At focus. Yes. The diagram showing the correct path of the ray after passing through the prism. Through the lens. Which is the correct figure?
1, 2, 3.
Okay. You're telling 1 is correct. 2 correct. Infinity. The ray is coming from infinity. They meet at focus. That is correct. The ray passing through the pole goes undeflected. That is correct. The ray passing through F goes to infinity. Correct. And 4 is not correct. Right? 4 is not correct. So the answer is 1, 2, and 3. C is the option. Okay. A light ray enters from medium R. Now we are going to the refraction part. A light ray enters from a medium A to medium B as shown in the figure. The refractive index of the medium B relative to A will be
Greater than unity.
Why? Somebody? Why? How will you check that? That's my question.
Prior art denser.
If it is E light, if there was no medium B here, it would have gone like this. In the presence of a medium, this light can either go like this or it can go like this. Okay. If it is this is the normal. If it is moving away from the normal, like this one, away from normal, like the blue color. Okay. That means if it is that way, that means medium A is denser or B is refractive index. Oh, sorry. Okay. Sorry. We are rarer. Okay. Or B larger. Sorry. It's not B. A has larger refractive index. Okay. Refractive index. Okay. If this is the case, that means towards the normal. Towards the normal, that means B is high N or refractive index. Okay. B is having high refractive index. Understood?
Yes.
Yes.
If it is towards the normal, that means the medium B is denser. Medium B is denser means it's having its refractive index is more compared to A. Okay. So what will be the answer to this question? Is it greater than unity? Which will be higher? N of B is higher here, right? Higher than A. So refractive index of medium B relative to A. That is the question. B relative to A. So B is higher. So it will be greater than unity. Okay. That means NB by NA. This is the thing we are going to calculate. This will be greater than 1 because NB is greater than NA here. Okay. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. You should practice. When you get a question of this kind, you should think it on your own. Twist it and think it. What will happen if it is this way? What will happen if you make your own questions and find answers? Okay. This is a very interesting question. A beam of light is incident through the holes on side A and emerges out of the holes on the other face of the box as shown in the figure. Which of the following could be inside the box? Okay, so in this question, see, there is something sitting here. Okay, because we have some parallel beam of lights coming in and it's getting diverged like this. What will be there? What will be the object here? Is it a concave lens, a rectangular glass slab, a prism, or a convex lens?
Concave lens.
Okay.
Convex lens or diverging.
What is happening here? The parallel beams are diverging, right? What's happening is diverging. So when parallel beams comes incident a concave lens, what happens? It get diverged. If it is a convex lens, parallel beams come, what happens? It gets converged. So what is happening here? What is here is a concave lens. Understood? Understood? Okay, moving to which of the following statement is true? A convex lens has 4 diopter power having a focal length of 0.25 meter. It's a question connecting power and focal length. Okay. So I have 2 questions. Power. Sorry.
1 by F.
Power is nothing but 1 by F. Okay. And what is F of a concave lens? Is it positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative.
Negative. What is the F of a convex lens?
Positive.
That is positive. Okay. So the question is, a convex lens has 4 diopter with focal length 0.25. Okay. A convex lens plus 4 diopter. That is correct, right? A convex lens has minus 4 diopter. Is that true? That is wrong. A concave lens has 4 diopter. Is that correct? It's wrong, right? So these two can be a possible option. So we look at this. What is power? Power is 1 by focal length. So if it is 0.25 meter is a focal length, right? 1 by 0.25 meter. So what is the answer? This is nothing but 4. So we know the power is nothing but 4 diopter. That is correct. So a convex lens has 4 diopter power having focal length 0.25 meter. Is it true? Yes. A concave lens has minus 4 diopter having focal length 0.25.
No.
No, it should be minus 0.25, right?
Yes.
Isn't it? Should be minus. So the correct answer is A. Okay. Convex lens and focal length just a 0.25. We can't say it that way. It should be minus. Okay. Good. Moving to the next question. Which one of this is correct?
B.
B.
Yes. Which is correct? B. Okay. Option B is the correct answer. So I'm not detailing it. You already know it. Okay. You are given water, mustard oil, glycerin, and kerosene. Which of the middle layer of incident is most? Okay. I have changed this question. Like, you don't have mustard oil and glycerin. You don't have these things. Okay. You don't have these things. Okay. Instead, you have benzene and ruby. Okay. I just changed the question. In your question paper, it's benzene and ruby. I forgot to change it here. Benzene and ruby. Yeah. Can you guys tell me in which of this media a ray of light incident obliquely at the same angle would bend most? Which would bend most? For the previous question, I gave you a clue for this one. Using this table, can you tell me the answer?
Ruby.
Exactly. It's ruby. You know why? Because ruby has the highest refractive index. It's 1.71. What about benzene? Benzene has 1.5. What about water? Water, yeah, it's here. Water is here. It has 1.33. And what about kerosene? Kerosene has 1.44. So which one is having the highest refractive index? It will be bending more. Okay. Yes. Which of the following materials cannot be used to make a lens? Please, please. Your answers,
Clay.
please.
Clay.
Yeah, that's nothing but clay. Very good. That's nothing but clay. 1 minute. Okay, that's nothing but clay. Because it's not transparent. Okay, because it's not transparent. Where should an object be placed in front of a convex lens to get a real image of the size of the object? Where should an object be placed in front of a convex lens to get the real image of size of the object? Yeah. Tell me.
At
At
Twice the
it should be at
At
C. At C
Twice the
option. Exactly. At C option is not there. So it's like at twice the focal length. Okay. I told you now what is the relation between C and F. It's 2F. C is nothing but 2F. So it's twice the focal length. So the answer is this one. Twice the focal length. Okay. Which of the following lenses would you prefer to use while reading a small letters found in the dictionary? Which one?
concave lens.
Is it concave lens?
Convex.
It's lens. It's not mirror. See, this is how you get confused. You're looking at this logic. Like you are thinking it should be enlarged. So what dentists use is a concave mirror. That was a mirror, and this is a lens. Okay. So in the case of lens, if you want to see enlarged images, like you want to read small letters and everything, you should use a convex lens of how much focal length? Is it 50 centimeter or 5?
5.
It's 5 because smaller the focal length, the enlargement will be more. Okay. So it is a convex lens of focal length 5 centimeters. So magnification is more for convex lenses having shorter focal length. Okay. Good. Rahul conducts an experiment using an object of height 10 centimeter and concave lens with a focal length 20 centimeter. The object is placed at a distance of 25 centimeter from the lens. Can the image be formed on the screen? Rahul conducts an experiment using an object of height 10 centimeter and a concave lens with focal length 20 centimeter. The object is placed at a distance of 25 centimeter from the lens. Can the image be formed on a screen? So in the case of a convex lens, you have two cases. One is when the object is placed at infinity, this is what is going to happen with the emergent rays. When it is placed between this is the only situation. So in any of these cases, can you somehow converge the lights?
No.
No.
Yeah, I told you, if you want to get a real image, if you wanted to get a real image, or if you want to form an image on the screen, see, the rays should actually meet. The rays should meet in real. That happens only when the rays converge somehow to a point or they meet. Okay. In both these cases, or in the case of a concave lens, it's always diverging. It's always diverging, and you won't get a image. You won't get a real image. What you always get is a virtual and erect image. Okay. What you always get is a virtual and erect image. So, is it possible? No. As the image formed will be virtual. Okay. Understood?
Yes.
Okay. Which of the following can make parallel beams of light from a point source incident on it?
A.
Okay. So in this case, you just remember this. Converging lens and converging mirror. Okay. Converging lens and converging mirror can create parallel beam of a point source. Okay. So what is a converging lens? Is it concave lens? Concave lens or convex lens?
Convex.
Convex. And what is a converging mirror?
Concave.
Concave. So the answer is concave mirror as well as a convex lens. Which of the following ray diagram is correct for the ray of incident on a lens as shown in the figure? Okay, this figure is there. What is the correct option? One moment, I can reduce the size. Which is the correct option for this incident?
A.
Yeah, it is at the focus. The light is incident at the focus, so it should move to infinity, like it should go parallel. Very good. A is the correct answer. Light travel fastest in water, air, glass, diamond.
Air.
Air, because refractive index is least. Refractive index കുറയും തോറും light ന്റെ speed കൂടും. Understand? So refractive index is least, the light speed will be maximum. Bending of light when travel from one medium to another is called?
Refraction.
What is that?
Refraction.
Refraction. Refraction. Refraction. Okay. Snell's law is associated with?
Refraction.
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 Exactly. That is refraction. A student used a device X to obtain the focus. Obtain or focus the image of a well-illuminated distant building on a screen as shown alongside the diagram. Select the statement about the device. So this is the case. You should understand. So they are asking, what is here? They are asking, what is the object X?
Convex lens.
Convex lens.
What about its focal length?
8 centimeter.
8.
8 meter.
Exactly.
Eight.
So since this is parallel rays, that is from infinity, infinity rays should meet at the focus, right? In the case of a convex mirror, convex lens. So if this distance is 8 centimeter, then its focal length should also be 8 centimeter. Okay. So I think that's
Yes.
clear for you. So the answer is this device is a convex lens of 8 centimeter focal length. Okay. Convex lens is also known as
Converging.
Converging.
convergent lens. Yes. Power of a convex lens is
Negative.
Concave lens.
sorry, concave lenses. Oh yeah.
Negative.
Oh yeah. My question, there's a mistake. Sorry, guys. It's convex. This one is convex and the next one. Convex lens in the power and what is the power?
Positive.
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 Positive. We can't say this +1 because that's only for plane mirrors and plane glasses. Power of a
Negative.
concave
Negative.
lens is
Negative.
negative. Negative. Power is defined as
Reciprocal of
Focal length.
exactly reciprocal of focal length. Okay. So these are the questions I shared you in the group and we did it on time. Okay, now I'll just give you some informations regarding our examination. Okay, so these figures, you see, these figures in the textbooks are very important. Okay, you should look at it thoroughly. This is like you can expect some figure based questions and all from this part. Okay, so it's like when a ray is passing through the focus, it should be the emergent ray should be parallel. Okay, parallel to the principal axis. In the case of the same case, in the case of a concave lens, what's happening? If it is incident like this, it should go off parallelly. Okay. Okay. Be careful. Please see all these things. In the case of a convex lens, this is the case. Principal focus. Sorry. Optical center. Yeah. This is the thing. And here, this is the thing. If it is parallel lines, it should meet at the focus. In the case of a concave lens, if it is parallel, it should actually diverge, but its virtual image will be formed at F1. Understand? Its virtual image will be formed at F. So these are few informations I wanted to share you. Like, see, if it is going like this, it should be, it's actually diverging, but its image will be its virtual image. How we get a virtual image? We extrapolate these diverging lines and we see where it will meet. So this is its focus point, but the image formed here will be virtual because these lines are not actually meeting. Here you see these rays actually meet at this point, so this is a real image. But in this case, the rays are not actually meeting. we imagine, like we extrapolate and we see a virtual image there. Okay, so these are the cases. And if you have any doubt, or if you want to elaborate on any points, please let me know. Please let me know the question number. So like it's like we solved almost 60 questions, and it has covered almost all the topics. Okay. You should read the textbook very thorough. Okay, then only you will get the best marks, best scores, because they can ask questions related only to this textbook. And whoever reads the textbook, like, it's not just reading, it's about critical reading, and you should make your own questions from while you read. You should be able to make MCQs when you read the textbook. Okay, like, this place there is a possibility of a question. In this place they can ask a question of this kind, so you should think in that way and you should study in that way. Okay, then only you will be able to score the best marks. Okay, so if you guys have any doubt, please let me know in the chat. Please let me know. If you guys have any doubt, please let me know. Anybody, any doubt? Alina, Alna, Amina Husna, Amir Insha, Angel Mary, Anna Mol, Raj, Vina, Julia, Aisha, Dilna Varghese, Devananda, Farhan, Fasih, Fatima, Fida, Fatima, Jinan, Fatima, Lina, Fatima, Ria, Sahad, Hana, Hazim, Hiba, Joseph Anthony, Lakshmi, Mariam, Marin, Mufazil, Najia, Jan, Neil, Rosalind, Roshita Sundar, Sabu Thomas, Sunny Leo, Teresa, Tumi, Sanad. Anybody, any doubt? Okay, if you guys don't have any doubt, we'll wind up the session. Thank you, Ardra. Thank you, Amina. Thank you all. Najia, Farha. Thank you all for listening to me. Okay. It was wonderful talking to you. Okay, you guys can leave. Okay, how the focus of a plane mirror becoming? Very good, Akhil Nazim, very good question. Okay, I actually wanted to explain that, but I ran just because I thought I won't get enough time. Okay, I'll just tell you this. This is an interesting question. I can tell you this. See, plane mirror. Okay, I told you for every curved mirror, what is its focal length? It's half of the C, right?
Am I representing?
Yeah, I'm presenting. You're seeing it, I know.
Yes.
Akhil, Akhil, can you just unmute and respond? Okay. About F undallo. This focal length is half of C. Okay. What about a plane mirror? A plane mirror, is it a part of a bigger spherical mirror?
No.
No, like, see, if at all we are making a spherical mirror out of this, what will be its center of curvature? It should be infinity, right?
Yeah.
See, it should be that big. It's a plane mirror, and if at all if it is having a center, and if it is cut out of a spherical mirror, its center of curvature should be infinity. So F should also be infinity. Clear?
Yes.
Yeah. Brilliant question. Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Anybody, any doubt? Okay. What is the 43rd answer? Okay, one moment. Let me take the screen. 43. Can you just tell me what is the question? Because I think there is a mistake in the number I have given here. 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 43, 35, 39. Okay. This will be 40. 41, 42, 43. This one, right? Idale choicha question? Yes. Okay. Farha. 43. See, what is happening here? Here, what's happening is some parallel beams are coming and it getting diverged, right? Right. So what should be here? That's their question. Is it a concave lens, rectangular slab, or prism, or a convex mirror, or whatever, convex lens, or whatever it is. What should be here? ഇവിടെ എന്ത് വെച്ചാലാണ് ഡൈവേർജ് ചെയ്ത് പോവാ? It's a concave lens, right? Farha, if you're not able to mute, yes, okay. I think you got the answer. So that's the answer. Anybody, any doubt?
Can you say 23?
23, huh? Okay, one moment. 23. Sorry guys, I was facing some trouble. That's why I had to share it again and again. Okay. 23. This one, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Where is the object placed? Object is placed beyond C. Isn't it? Okay. If you want to draw this picture, I can draw it for you. Like it goes. This is an infinite ray. It will pass through this point, right?
Yes.
The one line that is passing through the focus, it should go to infinity, right?
Yes.
Where does two reflected lights met? Where are they meeting? At this point,
FN.
right? Right?
Yes. Between F and C.
So it should be between C and F. That's the reason why I told you. That's the reason why I told you. You can actually draw this and find. For that, you should study these images in detail. What is happening? Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Understand? Okay, fine.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, bye. Thank you. Yes. If any of you have any question, please ask. Otherwise,
Ma'am, can you send the answers from 1 to 25? I was not able to attend it first.
okay,
hour.
but I'll be sharing the recorded version of this class. Is that
Okay.
okay? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So I think I'll wind up this session. Nobody's having any doubt. Hazim, Devananda, Farhan, Lakshmi, if you don't have any doubt, please leave the meeting. Devananda M, Farhan, Hazim. So we'll wind up the session.